I really do. I really fucking do. But there is a huge bunch of misconceptions here. So this guy's talking about watch every single libertarian who cared about so very deeply about the right to control one's body, what goes into one's body, on the vaccine question, suddenly stop giving a shit with this. All right. Here's my thing though, Dev. It was the libtards, the shit libs, who didn't give a shit about that, and they were the ones who were like, "Oh, women should be able to kill babies," you know. So it's like, first of all, not a hypocrite. Second of all, I don't care if they do that because one, I could physically remove them from my society. You know, that's my point. I should have freedom of association, Dev. Where's my freedom of association? Hmm? It's all because of your made up rights and bullshit. Like, oh, civil rights. Yeah, it'd be nice if it didn't violate my rights and every other American's rights. It's like, second of all, I don't even give a shit about troons that badly. I mean, yeah, sure, it's degenerate. Yeah, sure. You're probably gonna die a lot sooner because of the whole suicide thing and gay men. They do some unhealthy shit. Yeah, from my understanding. Granted, I only learned this from watching. What was it? Rhetorically Defective's video on some lib trying to teach kids. It was trying to justify teaching kids about gay sex because, of course, libtards are. Again, it's the shit libs or the libtards that are the hypocrites here. But okay. People seem confused on the libertarian position on transgenderism. Practically none of us are against adults getting HRT for themselves. What we are for is freedom of association, so no one is forced to respect my pronouns, and insurance shouldn't have to cover for HRT. All right. At this point, I actually want to forbid HRT. No, that's stupid and gay, alright? Specifically because only the most deranged creeps use it. Okay, I don't know if it's the most deranged creeps that use it, but even then, we could just physically remove everyone who does HRT. So the solution is right there, right? And then the secondary thing is I've interacted with some troon, right? They seem relatively respectable. They're they follow Uncle Buckwheat. Yeah, him. So they seem relatively respectable. Maybe they've never done HRT in their entire life. Maybe that's why. But regardless, calling them that probably fair. I haven't dealt with them enough. Nothing more, nothing less. Troons are incompatible with freedom of association. Um, that's retarded. Unironically, because it's like I said, if they're incompatible with society, then the solution is freedom of association. The solution is to kick them the hell out. You fucking retard. Because their entire existence is built on Marxist views. Then kick them out, which would be freedom of association, which would be a product of freedom of association. Also, that's a lie, in my personal opinion, or it's close to the truth. The truth is that troons aren't Marxist inherently. Troons are inherently subversive. They're inherently subversive. That's why they're typically used as a tool by, again, I don't think that's true of black people. I don't think it's true of women that they're inherently Marxist. I I figured this out years ago that truants are just inherently subversive. Therefore, they're extremely useful to Marxists and anyone else who wants to subvert society. I mean, hell, there's a troon who's actually not a Marxist. Oh yeah, they're a libertarian to an extreme extent. Yeah, they're an ANCAP. But again, you also get this guy who's LARPing as a libertarian because he has a problem with copyright. He has a problem with copyright. The libertarian stance on copyright, the ANCAP stance on copyright, which is no, actually. You will not violate my property rights just because you claim to own an idea. That's He has a problem with that. He's apparently an egoist, so that's fun. Yeah, he's literally Steiner. I mean, that's what he said about the matter, right? And like I've already stated, if it's true that all troons are like this, or the majority of troons are like this, well, then the only ANCAP societies, private societies that are going to really flourish are the ones that kick them the hell out. And eventually we would just kick them all the hell out. But yeah, they're inherently vulnerable to subversion. Their the ideology of them is inherently subversive. That's again, if you take out your personal biases, and it's very hard when you deal with troons on a daily basis. I've just dealt with like one or two that were obnoxious, so I'm just like, I'm looking at them objectively, and it's like, yeah, they're just inherently subversive because they don't go on an objective position because of their mental illness, and that's what's interesting about them, right? I mean, again, it's like if you actually look at what they are and who, it's like, again, they're obviously someone who doesn't care about objective reality is going to be more in line with being a Marxist tool as opposed to like someone who cares about reality, right? I mean, a whole point of Marxism, and I mean this, is people being unprincipled or people being anti reality, becoming nihilist, unprincipled nihilists. They don't care about reality. They're subjectivists. Right. I mean, obviously, they have some objectivity. They're not consistent about their subjectivism. Because it's like everything's an opinion, man. And then it's like, oh, you're a fucking Nazi. And then they suddenly just care about things. It's all moral nihilism and bullshit up until up until someone's a hecking Nazi for any number of bullshit reasons. Right, right. It's all fake and gay. I mean, it's all fake and gay at the end of the day. You're asking the communists to argue in good faith. That's not Dev. Dev is not a normal man. Dev is a depraved, degenerate Canadian communist. I mean, we have to try. And the reason why is because it makes Dev look insane when we actually give the true standard and when we actually are consistent about it. Yeah. Nah. U.S. court allows state bans on gender affirming care for adults in unpreceding ruling, while bans on trans youth care have been numerous in recent years. Okay, well, that's good. This is the first to restrict care for transgender adults. And it's again, it's this point of like, I don't care that, some libertarians that are just like, you know, right wing libertarians are gonna, be in favor of this. I really don't. Right, right. Like vague libertarians, they just don't believe in the big government. They want small government, right? Like I don't give a shit about their opinion, Dev. Again, you gotta understand that at first it was, oh, it's their body, their choice, from the libtards, from the shit libs. But all of a sudden, whoa, it's not their body or their choice because of this. Yeah, and it's just like, And again, that's kind of my point. It's like we could just kick out anyone who does HRT from our society. And hey, the fucking troons can develop their own society. And the far the fuck away from us if they're that crazy, you know? I mean, maybe we'll give them a second chance. I heavily doubt it, but I wanna be so solid on anything with that, you know. I don't know. Maybe one of them will discover the cure for cancer, and we'll be a little bit more tolerant towards them. If they do something like that, maybe. Yeah, if they do something genuinely amazing, yeah, yeah, fair enough. But it's like again, you got a bunch of troon sleeper agents shooting up Catholic high schools and Catholic schools and shit, and it's just like I could understand why some people might be a little bit happy about troons getting screwed over. I could also understand why some people might be a little bit not giving a fuck about troons getting fucked over or screwed over. You get the point. Like, I don't really give that much of a shit because not really my problem. And at the end of the day, while this is bad of the government, because it's like obviously the solution is freedom of association, you know. The solution is that I don't have to deal with the crackheads, or that I can put the crackheads down if need be. The solution isn't, oh, the government needs to step in and make smoking crack illegal, right? Because that doesn't work. I don't know. It just doesn't fucking work. We need to be able to deal with our own shit. The government doesn't work. Socialism does not, in fact, work. We've tried it. It doesn't. Either way, yeah, believe it or not, communism doesn't work. Not even gonna go into that any further. Like, oh, look at every single libertarian who cared deeply about, and it's like, I don't care if they're hypocrites, Dev. The fact that your movement started the hypocrisy means I give little shit about it, right? It's like, yeah, it's ideal that we don't fucking do retarded things like use the government to ban communism, you know, because you can't ban an ideology. Right. They did that in like Poland or something, and I bookmarked it and was going to talk about it. But the TLDR is the government banned Nick Fuentes. They soft banned him, but the Groyper movement hasn't slowed down. The Groyper movement hasn't slowed down like at all. In fact, it's only been growing since the government banned it. So like the Polish government that banned communism, you're all fucking retarded. And for the libertarians who want like minimal government, or the people who hate the government who thought that was a good idea, you're also fucking retarded. You shouldn't ban an idea. It's like banning alcohol, except even worse, because ideas are not scarce resources. So, like, the minute you ban an idea or try to control it is the minute you fucking failed. You are a loser. You are a fucking. You're no different from a third world immigrant. A third world fucking shithead. Yeah. The worst kind of fuck. You're no different from a Haitian the minute you try to play these communist games. Like, I get some of it is kind of necessary. Like, for example, um, the immigration question. Yeah, that's the troon who is like, oh, you're literally the Gestapo. You're ethnically replacing it. I'm like, really? I didn't know that what was it again? That the legal immigrant was actually ethnic replace. It was an ethnicity because they were like, oh, Trump's ice goons, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm for Mentis in this way, but I'm just saying that 99% of their principles are objectively correct in my opinion. I just don't believe. Oh, we need to open the border right now. I'm just like, we need to surgically remove like 99% of problems. In other words, the other principles before we start even considering that. Which, by the way, even libertarians and caps who say they want open borders just believe in private borders. Open borders, the only reason why they quote unquote want open borders is because they don't believe in the legitimacy of government, which no libertarian or no ANCAP does, including me. It's just at the end of the day, well, you can't really do that because the third world exists. And they love their communism, and we currently have mob rule. So, needless to say, you can't take a chainsaw to what was it, a fucking yeah. If you're a surgeon, you can't take a chainsaw to one of your patients. You need to use a scalpel. That's the way I look at it. It's just like every extremist in every extremist position, it's literally just taking a chainsaw to one of their fucking, to one of their patients' bodies and being like, okay, we gotta open them up. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess they're just gonna die today. I guess it's not worth it, right? So I do agree with Mentis Wave on like a lot of things, and this is part of the reason why. It's like even if they were incompatible with society, they wouldn't be incompatible with freedom of association. They would be incompatible with society. We just physically remove them. And this is the thing, right? This guy probably doesn't even realize that he's more of a communist than anything else. This guy right here. But okay. Holy fuck, should have started with children can't consent, cannot consent. I've also noticed this that people continue to take Mentis out of context. Oh my god, there was that one person who fuck, I have to look it up, don't I? There was that one person who said the Nigerian IQ thing. Holy shit, now I'm gonna have to look this shit up. Yeah, it was the Nigerian IQ thing. I might as well talk about that. Fuck, where the fuck is it? Here we go. So, yeah, they were talking about the Nigerian IQ thing, and I'm not gonna be able to show you the picture. But basically, this person kept on commenting under Mentis's posts about how you actually agreed with me that the Nigerian IQ thing was fake, and it's like, or not good evidence. He's like, he didn't agree with that. He agreed that this specific example of IQ tests for Nigeria was wrong, and then he just, that she was I think it's a woman because she was showing, and then someone else talked about it. Yeah, someone else talked about it, and they were like, oh, you just, like you believe what you want to believe. You want to believe that Nigerians are hecking smart, totally geniuses, or something like that. They actually do have a low IQ, and you know, from my understanding, I mean, that seems to be what people are talking about. Right? It was well, pedantically correct. Well, you're pedantically correct here. Blah blah blah. what the surf said is in context national IQ of Somalia. The estimates for the average IQ in Somali range is from 68 to 84. So the most optimistic estimate is still below the human average. And they're like child refugees fleeing war isn't representative of the entire country. Ethiopia do uh, whatever. He lists a bunch of countries have also been measured at around 68. Are they all just fake too? The sample for Ethiopia is child refugees in Israel, by the way. Yes, they are all fake. The average IQ in Kenya has been measured as low as 72. That fake too? Or is is only the voluntary online test that measured it at 95 acceptable since it fits your narrative? You already know the answer to that is yes, low. Basically, people keep on being pedantic about Mentis and some of his takes. Right. That is kind of interesting to me. Here's another one. I have a suspicion that Epstein did indeed kill himself, but that the situation which allowed him to do so was also intentional, set up by those who would benefit from his death. Things like purposefully staffing incompetent, poorly trained guards, thus making it very hard to prove. Mentis, you wouldn't know. Just admit you don't know. You do know that there's things that you will never know. And that's okay, right, bro? You don't gotta be like that guy all the time. So here's Mentis proposing a theoretical situation that could have happened. He's like, "You're a fucking know it all. You do realize that, bro." It's like, that's my point. Like, everyone always interprets him in, like, the most negative lights, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't agree with it. And it's just weird. I mean, to be fair, maybe he's been massively wrong about some things, that's like, there is some contention there. But, you know, this kind of goes back into this point of, like, stop being retarded or stop pretending to be retarded. I don't even know at this point. At this point, I'm watching a video about what makes an NPC, and he's saying it's people not thinking rationally by choice, which is kind of interesting. And I posted it in here. So I'm currently watching this, and so yeah, that's about it. I have work tomorrow. I'm glad I could get that all I wanted to say off my chest. But yeah, unfortunately, with the troon question, it's like, yeah, unfortunately, people gotta be able to do bad decisions, and they get physically removed from society. You know, in a free society, people have to be able to be free. And yeah, that's just how that works. And I do think that that is ultimately the best that humanity could possibly get. I believe that Ancapistan is the best possible scenario. Surprisingly, an anarcho capitalist believes in anarcho capitalism. More news at 11. Either way, have a good one, and keep safe.